Hey everyone, this is Jessica from Jessica's Animal Jungle, and this is Chomper. She is a female winter white hybrid hamster, and I have had her for a month now. I got her, I believe it was June 26th, 2015, and I just give her food. And when I first got her, she was almost completely white. She was white on the sides and underbelly, and then the rest of her was like a very, very, very light gray, almost white, with a darker gray dorsal stripe. I'm going to upload a video with pictures. It'll probably go up before this video. But as you can see, she has patches on her, and that was because she started transitioning to darker since it is summer, and that's where winter whites get their name. They're white in the winter. And I think my house is warmer than the pet store was, and that's why she changed, because I mean, it is later on in the summer, kind of, and it had been warm for quite a while. So this is just her setup. She is in a bin cage, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about her setup in just a few minutes. But first I'm going to tell you her story, and it's not a very long one. I don't know all the details, but like I said, I got her at PetSmart. And originally I was wanting to rescue a hamster, do the whole adopt not shop thing, but I looked online at Pet Finder and Adopt a Pet, and I also looked on Craigslist and some other rescues in the area, their websites, and there wasn't a lot, well, there wasn't really any hamsters that were up for adoption, especially in my area. And there were some that were a little ways away, and that were like old and cost a lot. And I mean, I would have been fine with getting them, but it was just due to like the area and the location. It wasn't really somewhere my dad wanted to drive me to take me to, or any of that. And it wasn't really an area that I was wanting to go to by myself. So for that reason, I just went ahead and got her from a pet store, because there's not really any breeders in my area. Most people just get their hamster from a pet store, and then they end up having accidental litters from pet stores, not sexing the hamsters right. And so I waited like a month, maybe it was like 3 weeks before I actually went to a pet store. That's how long I was looking around online waiting, but I didn't want to wait any longer. And so I went to PetSmart and I was looking at the hamsters, and I knew I didn't want to get a Roborovski hamster. I love Roborovskis, they're one of my favorites, but I just knew I didn't want to get one this time around, and I was really going to get a Chinese hamster because I had never had a Chinese hamster before. So I was looking at the 3 of their Chinese hamsters, and 2 of them, one was a Goody, and the other 2, I don't know if they're dominant spot or not, or the other color pattern that Chinese hamsters come in, but they were like brown and white and had specks. So I was thinking about getting the one that was more white. And then the guy from PetSmart told me that he had an all-white winter white hamster in the back. So I told him I'd look at her, and they brought her up, and I was trying, it was going to be either her or the Chinese hamster, and I think the only reason why I decided on her, because I couldn't really decide between the 2, is because I hated to see her go back to the back of the store, and I'd feel really bad if I made her go back to the back of the store. And if I worked at a pet store and I was like, hey, here's this hamster that we had in the back, and then the family didn't take her, I'd feel so sad. So, I mean, her story just kind of, just the fact that she was in the back just kind of made me really want to get her. Now, I'm not sure why she was in the back. I'm thinking that she was the last one of her litter, or female of her litter. So when they got the new shipment of hamsters in, they had to take her to the back and put the new ones in her cage that she was in. But it could have also been from being sexed wrong. She could have been put in with a bunch of males or something like that. So then they had to separate her, so they put her in the back. Or it could have been because she was ill or sick at one time and they had to put her in the back. The guy told me she was really healthy though, and that he didn't think I was going to have any problems with her, which I haven't. So I don't think that was it. I think it was just they had her, nobody wanted her, new hamsters came in, had to put her in the back. And she was in a plastic bin. but not very big one. It's probably about this from here to the end of my cage wide, and maybe like maybe a foot long, not even that, I don't think. And she just had a food bowl and a water bottle. She didn't have a wheel or anything in there. And she is, I think, 5 or 6 months, because he said she was 4 or 5 months. She was just a little bit older than the hamsters that they had up front. And so I think that's all I can tell you about her. There's not much more to know. She does bite, but she's not like an aggressive hamster. She always comes to greet me when I come in. She sleeps in her wheel a lot, and she poops and pees in it a lot. I need to clean it, and she poops in her food bowl a lot. But she doesn't actually sleep in her igloo that she has in her cage. She just kind of goes under the bedding and sleeps random spots. So she's different from a lot of my other hamsters that I've had. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you her setup now. So like I said, I have a bin cage. I'm going to make a video on how I made it. But this one is a stir light, and I got it at Target for about $12 or $13. And altogether this bin cage cost me $22 to make. And I'll try to link the bin, the actual bin that I have, in the description box. And it is 649 square inches. And previously I had 20 long, which I still have. And that's actually what she's going to go in when I come home, because I'm taking her to college with me. So when we come home for breaks and stuff like that, like Christmas break and spring break and all that, she's going to go in there. And then in the back corner I have a small igloo, toilet paper roll, orchid bark chew stick. It's just apple. She doesn't chew on it though. And I have puzzle playground, a yellow flavored wooden shoe. In the corner is a 6.5 inch silent spinner in the color purple. And then I got her water bottle from PetSmart, and this was the only thing that I actually had to buy when I got her, other than bedding and food, because I had everything else. And I had a water bottle, but I need a new one. And so I got green and purple paw print water bottle because it went with the other stuff that I had. And then I have this small, mini purple igloo, and she's on aspen bedding. And right now she's eating Carefish Complete with oxbow pellets, broccoli, and some baby food and mealworms for protein. Generally she only gets one or the other, but the baby food jar was already open, so I decided to give her both. And she actually licks the baby food off my finger. I think that's all I can say for now about her.